The woman sitting across from me at this overpriced bistro in downtown Austin has no idea who I am. She thinks my name is Olivia Reed. She thinks I'm a marketing consultant from Seattle who just moved to Texas. She thinks we met by chance at a networking event 3 weeks ago and hit it off immediately. She has no idea that I've been planning this moment for 2 years. She has no idea that I know everything about her. Her morning routine, her favorite wine, her husband's travel schedule, her deepest insecurities, her darkest secrets. She has no idea that the woman she's laughing with, sharing appetizers with, making plans with, is the same woman whose life she systematically destroyed 3 years ago. Claire Sutton thinks Maya Bennett is dead, not literally dead, but close enough, broken, gone, disappeared into whatever hole failures crawl into when they lose everything. She's wrong. Maya Bennett isn't dead. She's sitting right in front of her, wearing a different face, a different name, and a smile that hides a rage so cold it could freeze the sun. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you how I got here. Let me tell you about the day my entire life imploded, and the woman I called my best friend stood in the wreckage, smiling. Before I go on, if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted the most, hit that subscribe and let me know what happened in the comment section. Let me tell you about Claire. 3 years ago, I had everything. My name is Maya Bennett. I was 32 years old, and I was living the life I'd dreamed of since I was a little girl, growing up in a cramped apartment in Houston with a single mother who worked 3 jobs. I had built a successful marketing agency in Austin called Bloom Creative. We specialized in branding for wellness and lifestyle companies, and in just 4 years, we'd grown from me working out of my apartment to a team of 12 people with clients all over the country. Revenue was hitting 7 figures. We were thriving. I had the perfect fiancé. His name was Daniel Harrison, tall, charming, successful architect. We'd been together for 3 years, engaged for 6 months. The wedding was planned for June at a beautiful vineyard in Hill Country. 200 guests. My dress was hanging in my closet, a gorgeous lace thing that cost more than my first car. I looked at it every morning and felt like the luckiest woman alive, and I had my best friend. Claire Sutton and I had been inseparable since college at UT Austin. We were roommates sophomore year, survived heartbreaks and hangovers together, graduated together, moved to Austin together. When I started Bloom Creative, Claire was my first hire. She was my director of client relations, my right hand, my sister in everything but blood. I trusted her more than anyone in the world. That was my first mistake. The unraveling started so slowly, I didn't see it coming. It started with little things, comments that felt slightly off. Daniel and I would be at dinner with Claire, and she'd laugh and say, "You know, Dan, you're so patient with Maya's workaholic tendencies. Most guys wouldn't put up with a fiancé who's married to her business." She'd say it like a joke. Daniel would laugh uncomfortably. I'd brush it off. Or she'd be at the office and make comments in front of the team. Maya's so lucky she has me to handle the clients. She's brilliant with strategy, but let's be honest, she's not exactly a people person. My team would laugh awkwardly. I'd feel a little sting, but tell myself she was kidding. Or she'd post on Instagram pictures of her and Daniel that I didn't know they'd taken. Lunch with my favorite future brother-in-law. So glad Maya found someone who gets her. The comments would be full of people saying how cute they looked together, asking if they were dating. She'd respond with laughing emojis. "He's taken by my bestie, but we do make a good-looking pair, don't we?" I told myself I was being paranoid. Claire was my best friend. She was just enthusiastic. She loved Daniel because she loved me. I was so stupid. The real destruction began 6 months before the wedding. We were about to close the biggest deal in Bloom Creative's history. A national wellness brand called Serenity Wellness wanted us to handle their complete rebrand and national campaign launch. It was a 3-year contract worth $2.5 million. I'd been working on the pitch for 3 months, 60-hour weeks, every detail perfect. Claire had been helping, of course. She was there for every late night, every revision, every practice run. The pitch meeting was scheduled for a Wednesday morning. I was ready. I had the presentation loaded, the deck printed, the whole team briefed. Tuesday night. I got food poisoning. I'm talking violently ill. I was in the emergency room at 2 a.m. with severe dehydration. The doctors wanted to keep me overnight for observation. I called Claire panicking. I can't make the pitch tomorrow. I'm in the hospital. Oh my God, Maya, are you okay? I'll be fine, but I can't present. Can you postpone the meeting? Their CMO is flying back to California Thursday morning. If we postpone, we lose the deal. Then you'll have to present. You know the pitch as well as I do. Maya, I can't. What if I mess it up? You won't. Claire, you're brilliant. You can do this. Please. This deal is everything for us. Long pause, then in a small voice. Okay, I'll do it. For you. Thank you. You're saving my life. That's what best friends are for. She presented the next day without me. She called me that afternoon, breathless with excitement. Maya, we got it. They loved the pitch. They signed. I cried with relief and joy, lying in that hospital bed. Thank you so much. I told you I'd handle it. Get some rest. We'll celebrate when you're better. I got released from the hospital Thursday evening. Friday morning, I went into the office, ready to celebrate with the team. The energy was weird. People weren't making eye contact. My assistant, Rachel, looked like she'd been crying. What's wrong? I asked her. You should talk to Claire. I found Claire in her office. She was on the phone but waved me in, smiling. When she hung up, I said, Is everything okay? The team seems off. Oh yeah, about that. Sit down, Maya. We need to talk. I sat. So the Serenity deal, they loved the pitch. I know. You told me. But here's the thing. During the presentation, their CMO, Diane, asked me directly if I'd be the lead on the account. She said she connected with my vision, my presentation style. She wants me specifically. Okay, that's great. You'll be the lead. You're director of client relations anyway. That's not quite what she said. She said she wants me and my team. She asked if I'd ever thought about starting my own agency. My blood went cold. What? Maya, don't be upset. But I've been thinking about this for a while. I love you, but I've been doing so much of the heavy lifting at Bloom. I think it's time for me to build something that's mine. Claire, what are you saying? I'm leaving Bloom, and I'm taking the Serenity account with me. You can't do that. I built that pitch. That's my client. Actually, I built that pitch. You were in the hospital, remember? I presented. I closed the deal. They want to work with me. I checked with a lawyer. Since I'm the one who signed the contract and I'm the named lead, the client follows me if I leave. You checked with a lawyer? How long have you been planning this? She smiled. And for the first time in 10 years of friendship, I saw something in her eyes that I'd never seen before. Coldness. Long enough. I'm sorry, Maya. This is just business. You understand. Claire, you're my best friend. I was your best friend. Now I'm your competitor. And honestly, I'm going to be a lot better at this than you ever were. She stood up, picked up a box from behind her desk that I hadn't noticed. I'm taking Rachel, Tom, and Jennifer with me. They've already accepted offers. You'll get official resignations by end of day. You're poaching my staff? I'm hiring talented people who want to work for someone who actually appreciates them. Face it, Maya, you're a great strategist, but you're terrible with people. Everyone here knows I'm the reason clients stick around. I couldn't breathe. Get out. Gladly. Oh, and Maya, good luck with the wedding. Daniel's a great guy. You should probably spend more time with him and less time at the office. You know, before you lose him too. She walked out. I sat in her empty office shaking as the full weight of what had just happened crashed over me. She'd stolen my biggest client. She'd stolen my best employees. She'd planned this for months while pretending to be my friend. But the worst part, that last comment about Daniel. A seed of paranoia planted itself in my mind and immediately began to grow. I tried to hold it together. I really did. I told the remaining team we'd be fine. I reached out to other potential clients. I worked 16-hour days trying to replace the revenue we'd lost. But Bloom Creative was hemorrhaging money. The Serenity deal had been going to fund our expansion, cover payroll for the next year, give us runway to grow. Without it, we were barely breaking even. And Claire's new agency, which she'd named Sutton & Co., was thriving. She'd launched with a massive announcement, crediting herself as the creative force behind Bloom Creative's biggest successes. She did interviews about being a female entrepreneur. She posted constantly on social media about her journey. Every post felt like a knife. Meanwhile, my relationship with Daniel was crumbling. I was stressed, working constantly, trying to save my business. He was pulling away, working late himself, being distant. I told myself it was the stress. The wedding was in 3 months. We just needed to get through this rough patch. Then came the night that destroyed me. It was a Friday in March. I'd been at the office until midnight, trying to finish a pitch for a new client. I was exhausted, emotionally drained, barely holding it together. I came home to our apartment to find Daniel sitting on the couch, looking miserable. "We need to talk," he said. Those 4 words, every relationship's death sentence. What's wrong? I sat next to him, my heart already racing. I can't do this anymore, Maya. Do what? The wedding. Us. I can't marry you. The world tilted. What? Why? Is this about me working too much? I know I've been stressed about the business, but it's not about the business. Then what? He looked at me and I saw guilt written all over his face. I'm in love with someone else. The words hit me like a physical blow. Who? He didn't answer. Daniel? Who? It doesn't matter. Tell me who. Claire. I actually laughed. It was such an absurd, impossible thing to hear that my brain couldn't process it. That's not funny. I'm not joking. You're in love with Claire? My best friend Claire? We didn't mean for it to happen. How long? Maya, how long, Daniel? 6 months. 6 months. The same 6 months she'd been helping me plan the pitch. The same 6 months she'd been at our apartment constantly. The 3 of us hanging out. Me trusting her with everything. You've been sleeping with her? I'm sorry. For 6 months? The entire time we've been planning our wedding? I'm sorry. I didn't know how to tell you. Did you fuck her in our bed? His silence was answer enough. I stood up, walked to the bedroom, and started throwing his things into the hallway. Maya, wait. Get out. Get the fuck out right now. Can we at least talk about... No! Get out before I call the police. He left. I collapsed on the floor and cried until I couldn't breathe. My best friend and my fiancé, for 6 months, while I planned a wedding, while I trusted them both with my whole heart. The worst part? I realized all those weird comments Claire had made, all those Instagram posts, all those times they'd spent together that I'd brushed off as innocent. They'd been flaunting it in my face the entire time. and I'd been too trusting, too naive, too stupid to see it. The next morning, I woke up with swollen eyes and a missed call from Daniel. He'd left a voicemail. "Maya, I know you're hurt, but we need to talk about logistics. The apartment is in both our names. The wedding vendors need to be canceled. We need to figure out how to split things. Call me back." The clinical coldness of it made me want to vomit. I called him back. "Fine, let's meet and handle everything." We met at a coffee shop near our apartment. He'd brought a list, an actual printed list of things we needed to discuss. "I've already called the venue and the caterer," he said. "We can get 50% back if we cancel within 30 days. "You called them already?" "I figured you wouldn't want to deal with it." "How considerate." "Maya, don't." "Don't what?" "Don't be upset that you're dismantling our entire life together like you're canceling a gym membership." "I know you're angry. Angry doesn't even begin to cover it. Are you with her? Are you together?" He hesitated. "Yes." "How long until you propose to her? A week? A month?" "Maya, how long?" "We're taking it slow." "That's not an answer." He looked down. "I'm going to propose next month." 1 month. He was going to propose to Claire 1 month after leaving me. "You're a coward," I said. "You didn't have the guts to leave me until you had her locked down as your backup plan." "That's not fair. None of this is fair. I loved you. I trusted her. You both destroyed me, and you don't even have the decency to feel guilty about it." "I do feel guilty. Not enough to not fuck my best friend for 6 months." People were staring. I didn't care. Daniel grabbed his list and stood up. "I'll have movers come get my stuff next week. You can keep the apartment. I'll sign it over to you." How generous. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. You're trying to make yourself feel less guilty. You want to tell people you were fair in the breakup so you don't look like the villain. But you are the villain, Daniel. You and Claire both. And one day, you're going to realize what you did to me. He left without responding. I sat there for an hour, staring at nothing, feeling the wreckage of my life settle around me. My business was dying. My fiancé was gone. My best friend had betrayed me. I'd have to cancel a wedding, tell everyone what happened, endure the pity and the gossip. Everything I'd built, everything I'd loved, everything I'd trusted, gone. And Claire was winning. She had my client. She had my staff. She had my fiancé. She was posting on Instagram about her thriving business and her new relationship. And everyone was congratulating her, celebrating her, treating her like some kind of girl boss success story. No one knew what she'd really done. No one knew the manipulation, the betrayal, the calculated cruelty of it all. She'd destroyed my life, and everyone thought she was amazing. That's when something inside me broke. Not in the way you might think. I didn't break down. I didn't fall apart. I broke open. And what came out was cold, focused, and absolutely ruthless. If Claire wanted to play dirty, I'd show her what dirty really meant. I started with research. I hired a private investigator. His name was Marcus, former cop, specialized in infidelity and corporate espionage. I told him I wanted everything on Claire Sutton, every secret, every vulnerability, every lie. It cost me $5,000 I couldn't afford. I didn't care. While Marcus investigated, I focused on one thing, surviving. I canceled the wedding, the venue, the caterer, the flowers, everything. Lost thousands in deposits. My mother cried when I told her. She'd been so excited about the wedding. I moved out of the apartment Daniel and I had shared. Too many memories. I found a tiny studio in a cheaper part of Austin and moved in with barely any furniture. Bloom Creative, officially shut down 3 months after Claire left. I couldn't make payroll. I couldn't afford the office space. I dissolved the company and filed for bankruptcy. 10 years of work, gone. I was 32 years old, single, unemployed, bankrupt, and living in a studio apartment with a mattress on the floor and nothing in my refrigerator. Meanwhile, Claire and Daniel got engaged exactly when he said they would. She posted the ring on Instagram, massive diamond, professionally photographed, caption about how the right person changes everything. The comments were full of congratulations. People who'd been at my engagement party 18 months earlier were now congratulating Claire on marrying my ex-fiancé. No one said a word about the timeline. No one questioned it. Claire had successfully rewritten the narrative. She was the successful entrepreneur who found love. I was the failed business owner who lost her man. That's what people believed. I sat in my empty studio apartment, eating ramen, scrolling through the photos of them together, and I smiled. Because Marcus had just sent me his report, and what was in that report was going to change everything. Here's what Marcus found. Claire's business, Sutton and Coney, was built on lies. The big Serenity Wellness contract. She'd overpromised and was already failing to deliver. The client was unhappy, but hadn't gone public yet. They were giving her one more quarter to turn things around, or they'd pull the contract. She'd hired my former employees, but was paying them barely above minimum wage while claiming she valued them. 2 of them were already looking for other jobs. Her finances were a disaster. She'd leased an expensive office in downtown Austin to look successful, but she couldn't afford it. She'd taken out massive loans to fund the launch of Sutton & Co., loans she was struggling to pay back. The polished Instagram life? Fake. She was drowning in debt. Her relationship with Daniel? Also a lie. Marcus had surveillance photos of them fighting in public. Apparently, Daniel had expected his architect's salary plus her business income to fund a comfortable life. Instead, Claire was bleeding money and hiding it from him. But the most interesting thing Marcus found wasn't about Claire. It was about Daniel. My ex-fiancé, the man who'd broken my heart, had a secret. Before he met me, he'd been married briefly in his early 20s. The marriage had ended badly. His ex-wife, a woman named Lauren, had accused him of financial abuse. She'd claimed he'd manipulated her into signing over her inheritance to him, then left her when the money was gone. The case had been settled out of court. Daniel paid her a significant sum to keep quiet and seal the records. I read that report 3 times. Daniel was a con man. He'd done to his first wife what he was probably planning to do to me. And now he was with Claire, who had money, or at least appeared to. Except Claire didn't actually have money. She was buried in debt, which meant Daniel would eventually figure that out. And when he did, he'd leave, just like he left his first wife, just like he left me. That's when I saw the full picture. Claire had stolen my business, my team, and my fiancé, thinking she'd won, but she'd actually stolen a ticking time bomb. Daniel would destroy her financially, just like he'd destroyed his first wife. Sutton and Company would fail because she'd overpromised and couldn't deliver. And when it all came crashing down, Claire would lose everything. I could just sit back and watch it happen. But where was the satisfaction in that? No. I wanted to be the one to light the fuse. I wanted to make sure that when Claire's world imploded, she knew exactly who had caused it. And I wanted her to suffer the way she'd made me suffer. So I devised a plan so audacious, so risky, so completely insane, that if it worked, It would be the most satisfying revenge in history. I was going to infiltrate Claire's life, turn her own weapons against her, and destroy her from the inside. But first, I needed to become someone else entirely. Step 1, disappear. I deleted all my social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, everything. I told the few friends I had left that I was taking time to heal and needed space. I moved to Dallas for 6 months, got a job as a waitress under the table, no official employment records. Lived in a cheap sublet, kept my head down. During those 6 months, I did 3 things. First, I changed my appearance completely. I'd always had long dark brown hair and a very natural look. I cut my hair into a sleek bob, dyed it platinum blonde. I started wearing heavy makeup, dramatic eyes, bold lips. I got colored contacts, changing my brown eyes to blue. I changed my style entirely, from casual and earthy to polished and corporate. When I looked in the mirror, I barely recognized myself. Second, I created a new identity, not a fake identity, that would be illegal, but a real, legitimate identity built from the fragments of my life that no one in Austin knew about. My full legal name was Maya Elizabeth Bennett, but my middle name, Elizabeth, had been my grandmother's first name, and my grandmother's maiden name was Reed. So I started going by Elizabeth Reed, which technically wasn't lying. I just rebranded myself. I created a new LinkedIn profile for Elizabeth Reed, marketing consultant based in Seattle, recently relocated to Texas. I built a completely real portfolio using work I'd done years ago for small clients who'd never overlapped with Claire's world. I created an entire backstory. Elizabeth Reed was from Seattle, never married, no connection to Austin until now. She was polished, confident, ambitious. Everything Maya Bennett had stopped being after the breakdown. Third, I studied Claire. I read every article she'd published. I listened to every podcast interview. I memorized her speech patterns, her buzzwords, her values, her insecurities. Claire loved being the smartest person in the room. She loved people who challenged her intellectually, but ultimately deferred to her. She loved feeling like a mentor, so that's exactly what I'd give her. After 6 months, I was ready. Elizabeth Reed moved to Austin, and she was about to meet Claire Sutton. The networking event was at a trendy rooftop bar in downtown Austin. Women in business, building your empire, exactly the kind of event Claire would attend. I showed up in a tailored blazer, blonde hair perfect, makeup flawless. I looked nothing like Maya Bennett. I was confident, polished, everything Maya had lost. I scanned the room and found her immediately. Claire looked good, better than I remembered. Expensive clothes, professional blowout, glowing skin. She was talking to a group of women who were hanging on her every word. I waited, watched her, studied her body language. 30 minutes in, she excused herself and walked to the bar. That's when I made my move. I walked up next to her, ordered a drink, and then turned as if noticing her for the first time. "Oh my God, are you Claire Sutton?" She turned, surprised and pleased. "I am. Have we met?" "No, but I follow your work. I just moved here from Seattle, and I've been researching local agencies. Sutton and Company is impressive." Her smile widened. "Thank you. Are you in marketing?" "I am. Elizabeth Reed. I'm a consultant, just relocated. I've been working with tech startups mostly, but I'm exploring opportunities in the wellness space." "No way. That's my primary focus." "I know. That's why I was so excited to see you here. I'd love to pick your brain sometime if you're open to it. I'm new to Austin, and honestly, it's intimidating trying to break into an established market." I said it perfectly, flattering but not desperate, ambitious but deferential. Claire was hooked. "I'd love to chat. Here, let me give you my card. We exchanged cards. We talked for 20 minutes. I asked her questions about her business, her journey, her philosophy. I laughed at her jokes. I complimented her insights. And the whole time she had no idea she was talking to Maya Bennett. Before we parted ways, she said, "We should get coffee this week. I love mentoring women who are serious about their careers." "That would be amazing. Thank you so much." She walked away, already forgetting about me. But I just planted the first seed. Over the next 3 weeks, I carefully built a relationship with Claire. We met for coffee twice. I was the perfect mentee, eager, intelligent, just insecure enough to need her validation. I asked her advice about client management, pricing strategies, building a personal brand. She loved it. Loved feeling like the expert, the mentor, the successful entrepreneur helping the new kid. I made sure to post about our meetings on my Elizabeth Reed Instagram. So grateful for mentors who lift other women up. Thank you, Claire Sutton, for the wisdom. With a perfectly curated photo of us smiling over lattes. She reposted it. Love supporting ambitious women. Elizabeth is going to do amazing things. My follower count grew. I looked legitimate, successful, real. The third week, I mentioned casually that I was working on a pitch for a potential client and asked if she'd be willing to review it. Of course, I'd be happy to help. I sent her a pitch deck. It was good, really good. It was a strategy I'd been developing for months, polished and professional. She called me the next day. "Elizabeth, this is incredible. Seriously, you have real talent." "Thank you so much. That means everything coming from you. Have you presented this to the client yet?" "Not yet. I'm still refining it." "Well, if you ever want a second set of eyes, or if you need help closing the deal, let me know. Actually," she paused, "would you be interested in collaborating? Sutton and Company could use someone with your fresh perspective. Maybe we could partner on this pitch?" There it was, the first crack. Claire was struggling. She needed help. And she thought she'd found someone talented and naive enough to help her without realizing they were being used, just like she'd done to me 3 years ago. "Are you serious? That would be incredible. Let's meet tomorrow and discuss terms." We met. She offered me a contract position, basically a freelance role where I'd work on specific projects for Sutton & Co. The pay was terrible. The contract gave her ownership of any work I did. She was trying to exploit me. I signed without negotiating, because I wasn't there for the money. I was there to get inside her world. Working for Claire as Elizabeth Reed was surreal. I was in her office multiple times a week. I met her team, including Rachel, Tom, and Jennifer, my former employees who'd betrayed me to follow Claire. None of them recognized me. Why would they? I looked completely different, used a different name, and carried myself with a confidence Maya Bennett had lost. I was polished, put together, successful. Maya had been broken and desperate when they'd last seen her. Rachel even mentioned Maya once in passing. Claire's last business partner was a disaster. Total control freak, couldn't handle people. Claire's so much better off without her. I smiled and nodded. It's so important to cut out toxic people. Exactly. Hearing them rewrite history was infuriating. But I didn't let it show. I was there for a reason. Within a month, I'd become indispensable to Claire. She started inviting me to client meetings, asking my opinion on strategies, introducing me as her secret weapon. And the more time I spent with her, the more I saw the cracks. Sutton & Company was struggling worse than Marcus's report had indicated. The Serenity Wellness client was furious. They'd sent multiple emails threatening to pull the contract if Claire didn't deliver on her promises. Claire was panicking but hiding it well. She'd put on a confident face in public while privately freaking out. She started confiding in me. "Elizabeth, can I be honest with you? We were at her office late one night working on a pitch. Of course. I'm drowning. Serenity is impossible to please. No matter what I do, they're not happy. And if I lose this contract, I'm fucked." "What do you need?" "A miracle. This whole rebrand was supposed to position them as the premium wellness brand, but their CEO keeps changing her mind about the direction. I've revised the campaign 4 times, and she still isn't satisfied. Can I see what you've been working on?" She showed me. It was bad, disjointed, unclear messaging, visually cluttered. It was exactly the kind of work Claire always produced when she didn't have someone else to steal ideas from. I could fix it in my sleep. But I didn't offer to fix it. Not yet. Instead, I said, "This is tough. The CEO sounds difficult." She is. I'm honestly thinking about just giving up the contract, taking the hit. You can't do that. Your whole reputation is built on this deal. I know, but I don't know what else to do. She was spiraling. Perfect. Let me think about it. Maybe I can come up with some ideas. Would you? God, Elizabeth, you're a lifesaver. I went home that night and completely redesigned the Serenity campaign. It was brilliant, exactly what they wanted, exactly what would save Claire's contract. But I didn't give it to her. Not yet. First, I needed to get closer to the other piece of my revenge. Daniel. Meeting Daniel was easier than I expected. Claire mentioned one night that she and Daniel were hosting a dinner party at their new house. Just a small thing, close friends and colleagues. You should come. I'd love for you to meet Daniel. I'd love to. The dinner party was that Saturday. I spent hours getting ready, making sure I looked perfect, blonde hair styled, makeup flawless, a dress that was elegant and professional. I walked into their house, a beautiful craftsman in Tarrytown that they definitely couldn't afford, and immediately spotted Daniel. He looked the same, tall, handsome, that easy charm that had made me fall for him. Claire introduced us. "Daniel, this is Elizabeth Reed, the marketing genius I've been telling you about." He shook my hand, smiled. "Nice to meet you. Claire can't stop raving about you." "It's mutual. Your fiancé is incredible." Fiancé. The word tasted like poison. We made small talk. I was charming, friendly, just interesting enough to be memorable, but not so interesting that I stood out. Over dinner, I watched them together. Claire was performing, being the perfect hostess, the successful entrepreneur, the woman who had it all together. Daniel was playing his role too, the supportive partner, the proud fiancé, but I could see the tension, the way his smile didn't reach his eyes when she talked about the business, the way she tensed when he mentioned money. They were already fracturing. The debt, the stress, the cracks in Claire's perfect facade, it was wearing on them. After dinner, I found myself alone with Daniel in the kitchen. He was refilling drinks. "Can I help?" I asked. "Sure. Grab those wine glasses." We worked in comfortable silence for a moment. Then he said, "So you're new to Austin?" "Relocated from Seattle a few months ago." "How are you liking it?" "I love it. Everyone's been so welcoming." "That's good. Claire's lucky to have found you. She's been stressed about work lately." "She's handling a lot. It's impressive." He laughed, but there was bitterness in it. "Yeah, impressive." "Everything okay?" "Yeah, just wedding planning is expensive. And starting a business is expensive. It's a lot." "I'm sure it'll all work out." "I hope so." There it was. The resentment, the financial strain. Daniel was already regretting Claire. I filed that information away. Over the next 2 months, I became a fixture in Claire and Daniel's life. I worked closely with Claire at Sutton & Company, slowly becoming her most trusted advisor. I attended more dinner parties, joined their friend group, became someone they both relied on. Claire confided in me constantly about her stress, her fears, her insecurities. Sometimes I feel like I'm faking it, you know? She told me one night over wine. Like everyone thinks I have my shit together, but I'm just barely holding on. Everyone feels that way sometimes. Do they? I look at people like my old business partner, Maya. She always seemed so confident, so capable, and then she just fell apart. I don't want to be like that. Hearing her say my name was jarring. What happened with Maya? I asked carefully. She couldn't handle the pressure. When I left her company to start my own, she completely spiraled, lost her business, her fiancé, everything. It was sad to, honestly. That sounds hard. It was, but she brought it on herself. She was so controlling, so resistant to change. She couldn't adapt. I wanted to scream, to tell her that she'd destroyed me, stolen everything, lied and manipulated and ruined my life. But I didn't. I smiled and said, "Some people just aren't built for entrepreneurship." Exactly. She had rewritten history so completely in her mind that she genuinely believed she was the victim, the survivor, the success story. Maya Bennett was just a cautionary tale. That's when I knew. Claire felt no remorse, no guilt, no second thoughts. She'd destroyed me and she was proud of it, which meant I had no reason to hold back. The plan I'd been building for months was finally ready to execute. It had 3 phases. Phase 1, save Claire's business, but make sure I got the credit. Phase 2, destroy Claire's relationship with Daniel by exposing both of them for who they really were. Phase 3, reveal myself and watch Claire realize she'd let her victim infiltrate her entire life. I started with Phase 1. The Serenity Wellness contract was about to be terminated. Claire had one final presentation to save it, a last-ditch effort to show them the rebrand they'd been asking for. She was panicking. I have nothing. Elizabeth, I have nothing good enough. What if I helped? You've already helped so much. No, I mean really helped. Let me take a crack at the full campaign redesign. Fresh eyes. You do that? Of course. You've done so much for me. Let me return the favor. She hugged me, actual tears in her eyes. Thank you. God, thank you. I spent the next week creating the most brilliant campaign of my career. It was everything Serenity wanted, cohesive, elegant, strategic. It was the kind of work that would save the contract and cement Sutton & Coty's reputation. I presented it to Claire first. She was speechless. Elizabeth, this is incredible. This is exactly what they wanted. I'm glad you like it. Like it? This is perfect. You're a genius. We should present it together. It's your company, your vision. I just executed it. No, you created this. You should present it. Are you sure? Absolutely. You deserve the credit. That was easier than I expected. The presentation to Serenity was scheduled for the following week, but before then, I did something Claire didn't know about. I contacted the CEO of Serenity Wellness directly. Her name was Diane Martinez. I sent her an email from my Elizabeth Reed account. Hi, Diane. My name is Elizabeth Reed. I'm a marketing consultant who's been working with Sutton & Co. on your rebrand. I wanted to reach out directly because I have some concerns about how the campaign has been managed. I believe in this work, and I want to make sure you're getting the best possible product. Would you be available for a call before the final presentation? She responded within an hour. I'd love to talk. We had a call. I was honest. Claire is talented, but she's been overwhelmed. The inconsistency you've experienced is because she's juggling too much. The campaign I'm presenting next week is solid work, and I want to make sure you know that going forward, I'll be personally overseeing your account to ensure quality. I appreciate your honesty, Elizabeth. That's refreshing. I believe in transparency, and I believe in this campaign. I'm looking forward to seeing it. The day of the presentation arrived. Claire was nervous but confident. She'd practiced, prepared, put on her best outfit. We walked into the Serenity Wellness offices together. I presented the campaign. It was flawless. Diane and her team were silent as I went through each slide, explaining the strategy, showing the creative, demonstrating how it aligned with their brand values. When I finished, Diane said, "This is exactly what we wanted. Elizabeth, this is brilliant." Thank you. Claire, you finally delivered. But I have to say, it's clear that Elizabeth is the driving force behind this. I'd like to propose a change to our contract. Claire's smile faltered. What kind of change? We'd like Elizabeth to be the named lead on our account going forward, with Claire as support. The room went silent. Claire's face went white. I'm the owner of Sutton & Co. Elizabeth works for me. I understand, but we've been dissatisfied with the work until Elizabeth got involved. This is our condition for continuing the contract. Claire looked at me. I saw the betrayal in her eyes, the same betrayal I'd felt when she stole my business. But I just smiled sweetly. Claire, what do you think? It's your decision. She couldn't say no. If she said no, she'd lose the contract entirely. Of course, she said through gritted teeth. Elizabeth will be the lead. Excellent. We'll have the revised contract sent over this week. We walked out of that office together. Claire didn't say a word until we got to the parking lot. Then she turned to me, furious. What the fuck was that? What do you mean? You went behind my back. You contacted Diane directly. I was trying to save the account. By making me look incompetent? Claire, they were going to drop you. I saved your biggest client. You should be thanking me. Thanking you? You just humiliated me in front of my client. I saved your business. She stared at me, and for the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. She was realizing that she'd brought in someone more talented than her, someone who could take everything from her, just like she'd done to me. I think we need to reevaluate our working relationship, she said coldly. Are you firing me? I'm saying we need boundaries, whatever you think is best. I drove away, leaving her standing in the parking lot, shaking with rage. Phase 1 complete. Phase 2 began the next day. I'd been building a relationship with Daniel separately from Claire. Coffee meetings here and there, ostensibly to discuss gift ideas for Claire or wedding planning advice. He'd been receptive, friendly, and increasingly frustrated with Claire. During one of our coffee meetings, I brought up something I'd heard through the grapevine. Hey, random question. Did you know Claire's company is in serious debt? He frowned. What do you mean? I probably shouldn't say anything, but I saw some financial documents by accident. The business is barely breaking even. She owes a lot of money on loans. How much? I don't know exactly, but enough that I'd be worried if I were, about to marry her. I let that sit. Daniel's jaw tightened. She told me the business was thriving. It might be. I could be wrong. I just thought you should know. Thanks for the heads up. I could see the wheels turning. Daniel was realizing Claire had lied to him about money, the same way he'd lied to his first wife. Perfect. I followed up a week later with more accidentally overheard information, that Claire had been hiding expenses from him, that she'd taken out credit cards in both their names without telling him. Each piece of information was true. I'd gotten access to Claire's financial records through my work with Sutton and Co. I fed Daniel these truths slowly, carefully, watching him grow more and more suspicious. Then came the final push. I arranged for Daniel to run into Lauren, his first wife. It wasn't hard. I'd tracked her down through Marcus's initial investigation. She lived in Houston, remarried, happy. I called her and explained the situation. Your ex-husband is about to do to another woman what he did to you. She stole everything from someone I care about. They deserve each other, but I think they should both know who they're really marrying. Lauren was skeptical at first, but when I told her about Claire's debts and Daniel's pattern, she agreed to help. She coincidentally showed up at a restaurant where Daniel was having lunch with a client. She walked up to his table. "Daniel Harrison, I thought that was you." He went pale. "Lauren, it's been a long time. How's life? I hear you're engaged." "Yeah, congratulations on your marriage too." "Thanks. Listen, I don't want to cause trouble, but I saw the engagement announcement. I think your fiancé deserves to know who she's marrying. We settled everything years ago. We did, but I settled because I was young and scared. That doesn't mean what you did wasn't wrong. You took my inheritance, lied about investing it, and left me with nothing. I hope you're not doing the same thing to her." She walked away. Daniel's client looked uncomfortable. "Everything okay?" "Yeah, just an old friend." But the seed was planted. That night, Daniel went home and confronted Claire about the debts. I know because Claire called me, sobbing. "Elizabeth, Daniel is furious. He's saying I lied to him about money. He ran into his ex-wife today, and now he's questioning everything. I don't know what to do." "What did you tell him?" "The truth, that I'm struggling, but I'm handling it. But he's acting like I betrayed him." "Did you tell him about the business debts before now?" Silence. "Claire, I didn't want to worry him. So you lied." "I didn't lie. I just didn't tell him everything." "That's still dishonesty. Whose side are you on?" "I'm on your side, but Daniel has a point. Financial transparency is important in a relationship." "I can't believe you're saying this. I'm trying to help." "Well, you're not." She hung up. I smiled. Phase 2 was working perfectly. Over the next month, Claire and Daniel's relationship disintegrated. They fought constantly, about money, about trust, about the wedding. Claire confided in me through it all, not realizing I was the one feeding Daniel information, stoking his suspicions, pushing them toward destruction. Finally, Daniel called off the wedding. Claire called me, hysterical. "He left me. He fucking left me." "I'm so sorry." "He said he can't marry someone who lies about money. He said I'm just like him, that we're both manipulative, and he doesn't want to end up hating me." "That's terrible." "I'm losing everything, Elizabeth. The business is struggling. Daniel's gone. Everyone's going to think I'm a failure." "You're not a failure." "Yes, I am. I stole everything from Maya, and I still couldn't make it work. I'm worse than her." There it was, the admission. "You stole from Maya?" Silence. "Claire, what do you mean you stole from her?" "Nothing. Forget I said anything." "You can tell me." Long pause. Then, in a small voice, "I took her biggest client, stole her employees, seduced her fiancé. I destroyed her entire life because I wanted what she had." "Why?" "Because she was better than me. Everyone loved her. Everyone respected her. And I was just her sidekick, so I took everything from her to prove I was better." "And were you?" "No. I'm worse. I'm so much worse." She started crying, real ugly crying, and I felt nothing. Claire, I said softly, I think you should know something. What? My name isn't Elizabeth Reed. Silence. What? My real name is Maya Elizabeth Bennett. Elizabeth Reed is my middle name and my grandmother's maiden name. More silence. Claire, it's me. I could hear her breathing on the other end of the line, fast and panicked. No, that's not possible. I changed my appearance, created a new identity, spent 6 months planning how to get close to you. You're lying. I'm not. I'm Maya, and I've been watching you destroy yourself for months. I saved your business just to take credit for it. I destroyed your relationship with Daniel by exposing both of you for the liars you are. And now I'm going to make sure everyone knows what you did. Maya, please. You stole my life, Claire. So I infiltrated yours, turned your own tactics against you, and dismantled everything you built. And the best part? You let me in. You trusted me. You confided in me. You gave me everything I needed to destroy you. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry you're losing. But you're not sorry for what you did to me. What do you want? I want you to know that every success you had over the past few years was built on lies. That you're not talented enough to make it on your own. That you needed to steal from me to get anywhere. And now that I've taken it all back, you have nothing. Please don't do this. Goodbye, Claire. I hung up, and then I executed the final phase. Phase 3 was simple, public exposure. I scheduled a meeting with Rachel, Tom, and Jennifer, my former employees. I walked into the coffee shop where we'd agreed to meet, still looking like Elizabeth Reed. They were confused. Elizabeth, what's this about? I sat down, took off my sunglasses, and smiled. Hi, my name is actually Maya Bennett. You might remember me as the woman whose business you abandoned to follow Claire. Their faces went white. That's not possible, Rachel whispered. I changed my appearance, built a new identity, got hired by Claire, became her most trusted advisor, and spent the last 4 months systematically destroying everything she stole from me. Why are you telling us this? Tom asked. Because I want you to know that Claire is a fraud. The Serenity campaign that saved Sutton and Kodu, I created it. Every successful project she's worked on in the past 4 months, I was behind it. She's not talented. She's not brilliant. She's a thief who got lucky because she stole from someone more talented than her. We didn't know, Jennifer started. You knew. Maybe not about the affair, but you knew she was taking credit for my work at Bloom Creative. You knew she was manipulative. You just didn't care because following her seemed like the smarter career move. That's not fair, Rachel said. Neither was abandoning me when I needed you most. But here's the thing. I don't need revenge on you. You're not worth it. I just wanted you to know that you followed the wrong person. Claire is about to lose everything. Sutton and Company is built on debt and lies. And when it collapses, and it will, you'll be job hunting again. Good luck with that. I stood up and left. Next, I contacted every major business publication in Austin and sent them a detailed expose. I had documentation for everything. Emails showing how Claire had stolen the Serenity deal while I was in the hospital. Text messages between her and Daniel proving the affair started while we were engaged. Financial records showing Sutton and Company's debts. I sent it all to reporters with a note. Claire Sutton has built her reputation on stealing from others. This is the truth about her success. Within a week, the articles started dropping. The dark side of female entrepreneurship, how Claire Sutton built Sutton and Company on betrayal and stolen ideas. Austin marketing agency owner accused of stealing business and fiancé from former partner. Sutton & Co. facing financial collapse after revelations of fraud. The articles were everywhere. Local news picked it up. Social media exploded. Claire's carefully crafted image shattered overnight. Clients started pulling contracts. Serenity Wellness immediately terminated their agreement and announced they were working with me directly as an independent consultant. Rachel, Tom, and Jennifer all quit within days. Sutton & Company folded within a month. Claire was forced to declare bankruptcy, just like I had. She had to move out of the expensive house she couldn't afford. She lost everything, just like I had 3 years earlier, except I came back, and she wouldn't. 6 months later, I was sitting in my new office. After the Serenity deal, I'd been approached by multiple clients. They wanted to work with me, the real talent behind Sutton & Coty's brief success. I started a new agency. I called it Bennett Strategies. Within 3 months, I had 6 major clients and a growing team. Within 6 months, I was more successful than Bloom Creative had ever been. I'd rebuilt my life, my career, my reputation, and I'd done it by destroying the person who'd destroyed me. Claire sent me one email after everything fell apart. Maya, I know you hate me. I deserve it. But please, can we talk? I'm sorry for everything. I didn't respond. A few weeks later, I heard through the grapevine that she'd moved to Dallas, taken a low-level marketing job, and was living in a tiny apartment. Her social media was deleted. Her professional reputation was destroyed. She'd lost Daniel, her business, her friends, everything. She'd been erased, just like she'd tried to erase me. Today I'm sitting in my office, looking out at the Austin skyline, and I think about the past 3 years. I lost everything: my business, my fiancé, my best friend, my sense of self, and then I took it all back. Not by being kind, not by forgiving, not by moving on, by being ruthless, by playing dirty, by using every weapon Claire had used against me and wielding them better than she ever could. Some people say revenge isn't worth it, that holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. But they're wrong. Revenge isn't poison. It's medicine. It healed something in me that nothing else could have healed. Claire thought she could destroy Maya Bennett and walk away unscathed. She was wrong, because Maya Bennett didn't stay destroyed. She became Elizabeth Reed. She infiltrated Claire's life. She took everything back, and she made damn sure Claire would never hurt anyone again. People ask me sometimes if I feel guilty, if I regret what I did. I don't. Do you agree with me? Hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comments section. Claire made her choices. She chose to steal, manipulate, betray. I simply made sure she faced the consequences. And if that makes me the villain in someone's story, I can live with that, because in my story, I'm the hero, the one who refused to stay down, the one who fought back, the one who won.